Hey guys, a long time no see. I know it has been a while since I have done a video. I think this has been the longest I have ever gone without uploading a video since I started doing YouTube. I am starting off with an apology to you guys. I don't have a major excuse except for, believe it or not, it actually slipped my mind. Not completely like, it would come, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I need to do a video, but thank you, Chanel. She wanted to come and get in the video too. And she's standing up. I was going to try to get her to lay down, but she's wanting to stand up. Okay, so let me get her situated. But I would remember it like, oh my goodness, I got to do a video. But it was at an inopportune time where I couldn't film one. And then Monday would roll around. That's my typical upload day. And I'd be like, oh no, I didn't do one. And really Saturday or Sunday are about the only times that I have time to film, and even those days are now super busy. And so I've just had a lot on my mind, and YouTube filming videos to upload to my channel, it was just gone. It was out of sight, out of mind. And anyway, I do apologize to you guys. This one's going to be a chatty video. I'm going to tell you a lot that's been going on in the past, well, I was going to say the past month, but that's how long it's been since I've uploaded. So maybe go back a couple of months from what I can remember. Most of my life is just routine, normal stuff. Not a big deal, it's kind of boring. But a few things have been happening that necessarily haven't been a lot of fun, especially to my bank account. And it was stuff that I didn't necessarily want to spend my money on. Some of it was not, it was necessary, but it's like, oh, I wish I could have put the money somewhere else. And one thing though that happened was the girls ended up going to the vet twice in a month, and one of them was for their normal vet visit, so that's no big deal. I knew that was coming up. They had to get their, I think it's their heartworm shots, whatever else they give them, and then I had to get their flea and tick pill. So that visit ended up being like $130, and I will say these are my babies. I love them, and I don't begrudge spending the money on my girls. However, I feel like I should have Coco coming over here now because she is now on a diet, and she's not happy about it. So the vet said she needs to lose 1 to 2 pounds. And he was asking me what I was feeding them. And I think somebody asked me that in one of the comments. And oh guys, forgive me. I'm so bad about replying to comments. I just feel guilty about what I have failed to do in YouTube this past month. And I'm bad about replying to comments in a timely manner. That's been going on for a while. I've just been so busy. And I know a lot of people say that. I feel like that's just an excuse now, but it really, it has been for me. And you got to try to prioritize things, and YouTube became not a priority in my life pretty much this year. And I hate that in one respect, but in another respect, it is what it is. But back to Coco. So the vet said she's going to lose 1 to 2 pounds, and he said, what are you feeding them? And I was feeding them Caesar's dog food, the wet food. They did not like Caesar's dry food. They would eat Bella dry food and then Caesar's wet food, and they were very particular. They would only eat like 3 kinds of the wet food in those little containers, and so that's what they had been eating. And Coco is a little bit more greedy, and she's not as picky as Chanel is. So she was eating a lot of her food, and then also eating some of Chanel's food. And in addition to all that, she's just a tiny bit smaller than Chanel stature-wise. Weight-wise, she's bigger. And when they weighed that day, now their weights are extremely difficult to get because they do not want to be at the vet for one thing, and they don't want to get on that scale. So I have to hold them and try to get an accurate reading, and it's never accurate. But the day we went, Coco weighed like 10 pounds. I want to say it was like 0.1 or 0.2, but I think they just called it at 10. And then Chanel was about 8 pounds. So, So fast forward, so the vet said, okay, you can't feed them Caesar's food anymore. It's not good for them. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't realize that. And he's like, it tastes good for them, but it's not good food. And then they did their blood work. Chanel came back fine, no problems with Chanel, and which is kind of normal for her, other than having some tummy issues, and I'll be getting to that next. If she eats people food, specifically a lot of something that's high in protein, she gets tummy issues, and Coco does as well. So, but her blood work, Chanel's came back perfect. She's in perfect health. And then Coco's blood work came back, and the vet said that there were some enzymes, liver enzymes that were too high, I believe is what he said. I don't understand all the medical terminology, especially for canines, or any animals for that matter, but especially for canines, because that's what I've got. And he said it's due to what, excuse me, apologize, it's due to what she's been eating. And then also with her being extra greedy, she's been getting more than Chanel has. So he said she needs to go on a prescription weight loss dog food. And he gave me a couple of prescriptions. One of them was for Science Diet, and one of them was for Royal Canin. And he did say, though, food-wise in general, he recommended 3 brands. The number 1 brand he recommended was Royal Canin, specifically the Dachshund food, because Royal Canin makes food specific for breeds. And so I ended up getting the Royal Canin prescription food, and I think I got some of the Science, is it Science Diet? I think so. I got that one as well. Coco was like, it's okay at first. She doesn't like eating it now. I think she's bored of it. I have been mixing, I got some of the Dachshund in the dry food, and then some of the Dachshund food in the wet food. He did say that Chanel does not need to lose any weight whatsoever. She's good. And that, but I ended up feeding Chanel some of the diet food as well, because I ended up spending like, it was $130 for the vet visit. Then I think I spent over $100 between the first buy and the second buy of dog food. So there was that. Again, these are my babies. I don't begrudge them that money. I'm okay with that. But it was unexpected that I was going to end up having to shell out all that money in dog food. And so for the past month, I think now I am up to close to $300 in dog food. And maybe it's not that much, but I feel like it's maybe a month and a half. Yeah, definitely closer. It was a month and a half, because their first vet visit where we got the not so good news about her blood work, it was May the 20th. That's when we went. And now we're at today's June the 30th. So not quite a month and a half, but so I ended up ordering some food from Chewy from Chanel because it was cheaper. So I have had 2 orders come through. One order was like $65. The other order was a little bit less. So it was been about $100 for that. Then it's been another $100 on a PetSmart food buy, and then maybe $25.50 on another one from PetSmart for the diet food. Anyway, so fast forward. I did a no-no. I knew not to do this, but I did it anyway. But it was because of the fact that, this is my excuse, because Coco is not enjoying the dog food. I had grilled myself a steak, and then I had grilled the girls a steak. And I gave them theirs rare. I don't eat rare meat, but they're dogs. They don't care. They probably enjoyed it better. So they had one steak between them, and then I split it between 2 different days. So per dog, for like one meal, they got 1/4 of that steak, and I mixed it in with the diet dog food. So one was because Coco is not liking she's getting bored with it, not liking the flavor as much as the diet food. And at that time, I just had the diet food. I hadn't gotten the Chewy food yet. So I knew that Chanel needed something else because she was going to lose weight if she's on that weight loss food. Oh my goodness, I'm almost at 10 minutes, and I'm just ready. This is going to be a long video. So I grilled them a steak, and then that was on a Monday. So they ate it Monday evening for their supper, and then Tuesday morning. Well, sometime on Tuesday, they got extremely upset tummies and had diarrhea from Tuesday all the way to Friday morning. And that's when I was able to get them into the vet. So the vet put them on, they told me, I called the vet and they said, put them on chicken and rice. And so they had one last incident Friday morning. They went to the vet. Basically everything came back fine. The vet couldn't find anything else wrong. And they just said, or she said, it's basically that steak that did it. So that was another $96 vet visit for that. And that one, you know, I wanted my babies to be healthy, but that was my fault. So it was like $100 almost because I had given them steak. And even though I knew better, I did it anyway. So, anyway, everybody is good now. We're all healthy. Coco's getting healthier. When I took them back to the vet the second time and I weighed Coco again, she was down to 9.2 pounds. Again, I'm not sure how much of a real weight loss that was because she is super hard to get weighed. Both of them are. But it looks like Coco is headed in the right direction, so happy about that. Let's see. I've got some vitamins to show you from Hum Vitamins, and again, not pushing these on you guys. I'm not suggesting that you take them, but I've got a couple of comments to make about both of these. I ended up ordering Gut Instinct from my second Hum order. My first one had like 3 things in it, and then I got the rest of them from Sephora. I ended up getting Gut Instinct, and this is a probiotic, and I'm telling you, I love this one. The other one that I initially really liked was, it is a probiotic, but I think it's got skin something on it, and they said it's supposed to help your skin out, and I initially really liked that one. However, I've had some skin issues, not really since then, but I have, that's not true. I've had a pretty deep, you couldn't really see it, but I could feel it. It was right here and I can still feel it. Breakout. I'm not sure if it was a cyst or what. I did pick at it. I squeezed it. I mean, this is disgusting, I know, but nothing came out of it. And then I have what I believe is probably a cyst right here. It's not going to show up, but it's right here where my finger is. That popped up about the same week I went to the dermatologist. It wasn't there when I went, but it started to, literally, I think it was the next day or something. I felt something back there, or maybe I just didn't notice it before it was there. And it has grown since I went to the dermatologist, and that was either January or February. And I was like, why couldn't I have noticed that when I was there and have her taking care of it then? I was hoping the probiotic that dealt with a skin issue and breakouts would help that. It has not. This thing has actually grown since then, so I do need to go to the dermatologist, have her look at it, make sure everything's okay. I believe it is. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. And then the vitamin D. This is the one that I definitely have to be taking. But here's an issue that I discovered from the Sephora order to the Hum Vitamins order. So this is Hum Vitamins, but the Sephora one had 120 soft gels in it. The one from Hum has 60. They're the same price. Now, if you order 3 bottles of, it can be 3 of the same, or like these 2 and another one. Hum did knock 20, I think it was $20, depending, they give you a discount. It's like a percentage, but if I had ordered 3 of the vitamin Ds from Hum, they would have given me 2 for the price of 3. However, it's still cheaper at Sephora. I wish I would have realized that at first. I wouldn't. So I have ordered some more of the vitamin D from Sephora because it's cheaper. So that's one thing I will say. I don't know why they have given Sephora 120 soft gels and then they only sell 60. I do not know, because I've already gone through. I remember my first bottle that I got from Sephora. It took me a long time to get through that one. And then my first bottle of the vitamin D from the actual Hum company, I was like through that thing quick, and I was like, what happened? And that's when I realized the size difference. Okay, something else that has been costly thank goodness and thank the Lord I had the money in my bank account. So I took my car in, and I want to say this was in April, sometime towards the end of April. And I was like, it needs an oil change, and I needed windshield wipers on the front and then a rear windshield wiper, which I told them to put on there, but they didn't. Neither here nor there at this time. So I drop it off. I was like, oil change, windshield wipers. I get a call from them a couple hours later, and they're like, you have to have new rear tires. It is too dangerous. You've got to have them. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and do that. And then he's like, well, you also need new rear brakes, but that's not an emergency. The tires are an emergency today. That bill ended up being over $700 between windshield wipers, oil change, and rear tires. And so there was that. I did not budget in those tires. I did have the money, but it pulled it out of my savings account. So yeah, wasn't really happy about that. Then, literally right after they put the tires on, the rear brakes started grinding and squeal. They don't really squeal. Sometimes you hear brakes squeal. They didn't squeal. They made this grinding noise. And at first I was like, what in the world is that? Then I remembered it's the brakes. What was even stranger, it would do that when I would hit the gas and not necessarily the brakes. I don't understand car stuff. So I'll be honest, I waited 2 months. And then I did budget in for brakes. But it was like $427 or $412. It had a 4 and a 2. I remember that. So I had budgeted $400 for the brakes, but it was a little over. But still, it's $400 I did not want to spend. I hate spending money on car repairs. So there was all that. And then I had ordered another piece of furniture early in the year. It was like in the end of January or February, and it just got delivered like 2 weeks ago. So it took a long time, but I didn't have to pay for it until it got delivered, or until they shipped it. So I knew I had a little bit of time to save up for that, but it was still, I'm just starting to replace some furniture. So I didn't mind spending that because it was honestly needed. It was a chair, and the chair that I was using, it's back in where I watch TV, and the chair that I was using was broken and it was broken in multiple places, super uncomfortable. It had like a spring that broke where in the seat part, so it was just so uncomfortable. So this was very much needed, but it was still an expense that I was like, oh, it's, I would rather spend money on stuff that I can wear, not necessarily furniture. So it has been, clothing wise, other than what I did in April, which was a lot of damage, clothing wise, I haven't done anything since April, I'm gonna say. And then as far as non-necessity stuff, I think I've done like one thing, and I bought another bullet journal. Guys, why did I do this? I don't know. I got wrapped up into it. I love Coco, that's Coco barking. I love Coco type things. I love notebooks, and one of the bullet journals that I bought earlier in the year, I need to unsubscribe from that email, but they brought it out and said that they're going to have blackout journals where the pages are black, and it looks really cool if you write with a gel pen, like a bright neon gel pen. I'm like, I have to have that in my life. No, I didn't. That should be delivered, I think, tomorrow. So that was like the one non-necessity item that I have bought, I guess you can say, since my clothing haul and some of the Sephora stuff that I bought in early May. So I have been doing really well with not shopping since early May, almost 2 months. But with all that being said, I have spent a lot of money. Thankfully, I have the money in my savings account. Very thankful about that. One of my neighbors is getting a delivery, and I know Chanel sees him, and so she's about to start barking, but I'm holding her and petting her, trying to calm her down. Coco's got the blanket pulled over her head, but if Chanel starts, Coco will start. So I have been really into trying to do a budget. I mean, seriously try. I just started at the beginning of the year. I think I bought this book the end of 2018. And it's this budget book, and I started doing it really well, and I think I went through March. Let me look. Yeah. No, I went through March and then part of April. And then I'll be honest, I just stopped using it. And I initially really liked it, but I found that it was too small for me, and I was just not, I mean, part of it was I just stopped using it, and then another part, I just didn't find it easy enough. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just didn't like the size of it, I'm going to say. I thought it was really cute at first and thought it was perfect. Then I ended up not liking it. So, over the past few weeks, well, let me back up a little bit. I saw this post on Facebook at some Facebook group I'm in, and it was somebody had asked about what are some good YouTube channels or whatever to watch for budgeting, and I saw them in the comment sections, and so I wrote them down, and one of them was the Budgeting Mom. So I started following her on Instagram first, and then I think I went ahead and subscribed to her YouTube channel, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But I started watching some of her Instagram posts, and then after that, I started watching some YouTube, and I finally subscribed, and so I ended up purchasing some of her downloadable or printable budget. So here's a blank one. And you can get this in I think you can do 3 colors. This is one color. It gives you, I think, all 3 colors when you purchase it. This was teal. I think the other one was some purpley color, or you can just do black. So this is your income for the month. I guess if you get paid multiple times a month, I'm not sure how other people would handle it. Honestly, I would probably just do another sheet. And I think that's what I did. So I wrote from paycheck to paycheck, whatever dates those are, and then did the bills. And then you see there's if you want to do sinking funds, pay off extra debt, extra savings, and do envelopes. So I started using that, and I really like it, but I made multiple copies of this. I just brought one out because I keep messing it up and I keep changing my mind. So I've not got it down yet, and I mean I am being serious about it. Before I wasn't as serious. Then this is one that you can say at the end of the month, where did my money go? And then you can write debit and then savings. And I guess this one would be I feel like I have another... Okay, yeah. So when I bought this one, and I can't remember how much everything was, but some things were $2. So this one, this came in 3 pages. So when I bought this one, you got 3 documents. This first one, which I believe, use it however you want, honestly. But since this says debt, you would write your debt over here, and then savings on this one. And then this is budget categories. So whatever you had budgeted, so say if you had $100 budgeted for the grocery store, just that's probably too low, but just as an example, you would do groceries budgeted, how much ever you put down, $100, and then how much did you actually spend. So that's one thing that does that. And then you do the differences, did you go over, did you actually go under, and then the percentage. And then the next one that you got was comparing this month and last month. And so all of those came as one when I bought those. And then I did go ahead and purchase some of her envelopes. And I want to say these envelopes, and I got more than just that's in the stack, but I want to say it was $5 for the envelopes. So they print out on a piece of paper, and then you just fold them, and I tape them. I've got some double-sided tape, so I did that. So they are editable. I have trouble with that word, with what you can write. And this is the watercolor, and I'm looking at the viewfinder, so they're not, I don't think they're coming in too well, but this one just had miscellaneous on it, and I'm keeping that as miscellaneous. I was going to do, what I'm actually using this is for car maintenance. It's getting some money, but car maintenance wouldn't fit. I feel like my neighbors are having something. There are so many people pulling up in their yard. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by the neighbors. So that's for car maintenance. And I'm not going to be one of those people that do envelope stuffing. There's plenty of videos out there. So I did a Christmas one. I thought, why not go ahead and start putting a little bit of money aside every month for Christmas. And then puppies got a fun now because of their vet bill. So since I am ordering their food from Chewy, I am budgeting a separate amount just to come out of my checking account because it's automatically drafted. And then I'm also putting some cash in an envelope. So I'm starting off with them just $25 a month, and this will help. Sorry about that. My neighbor from across the street, I can't see her from where I'm sitting, just knocked on my door and handed me a bag of vegetables that looks like that was from their garden. I didn't even know they had a garden because it must be in the back of the yard. Okay, so this will be for the puppies, like vet visits. So they will go back in October. So I'm hoping to have enough in this envelope to cover the October bill, whatever that will be. They'll get probably more shots, and then I don't know, I usually don't do the flea and tick pill in the fall, and they told me I should do that, but they have only gotten 1 tick each, and then I think I found like 1 flea each on them. So and they're almost 3, so I just typically don't do it in fall and winter. I go back and start actually in the spring and summer with their flea and tick. It's probably a bad idea. I should do it all year round, but I'll make a decision then. And then Publix is primarily the grocery store that I go to, but this is basically grocery money, so I've got money in that. If I went to Walmart or Whole Foods or Kroger, I would use that as well, but I'm just put Publix on there because that's my favorite grocery store. And then Target, and again, if I needed Target, Walmart, or wherever, I would use that. So the reason why I do one for, a separate one, some people do their food budget, and then they can also count those as household consumables like paper towels, cleaning supplies, shampoo, conditioner, things like that. They put that all in one budget. I just separated for mine. So when I got Target, this is for more of like, I just bought some hair gel with it, some dental floss, things like that. So that's what I got at Target, and I just separated them. That's not to say that I don't purchase some food at Target, because I do, but anyway, so those are my envelopes. And then I just put the, sorry for turning around. So these sheets right here, I just got a notebook that I put in here. Of course, I went for something sparkly. I had to. So I started doing that, and I'm like, I'm getting really, really, really serious about it. But something, and this is the first one that I did with the Budgeting Mom's paperwork. I don't know what else to call that. Her worksheets, probably a better option to say. So I just started that, but no, I have written everything down, and I've been doing this for years where I do my budget, but I would leave like a certain amount in my checking account, and that would be just for miscellaneous or for Publix or for Walmart. I'm a debit card swiper. So what I would do was I would budget, I would write down, say, my church giving. I would put that down. If I would write down approximately how much I spend on gas. And I will say this, I'm not going to use an envelope for gas. I'm too lazy to walk into the store and pay for it in the store. I'm going to swipe my card. That's just what I'm going to be doing. So I did write down a budget of how much that I normally spend on gas a month, or every couple of weeks. I can usually get gas about every week and a half. So that's how much I would use. I was doing that, but I wasn't getting down to the nitty gritty and doing, like Dave Ramsey says, spend every dollar on paper first before you actually get the money out of your account. So I wasn't doing that. So I am trying to do, as some people also say, a zero-based budget. And Dave Ramsey said, spend every dollar on paper. It means the same thing in my opinion. So I wasn't putting money back for the puppy's vet visits. I was just covering that over what was left in my checking, or if I needed to pull some money out of savings, I would do that. Car maintenance, I would just pull it out of savings, or depending on how much the cost was. I mean, if it was like an oil change, come out of checking. But I wasn't saving, you know, like other people are calling these sinking funds. I wasn't saving for that. I would just take it out of my checking account or savings account, and that was a really bad idea. So I'm doing better. However, the first budget that I did, it's already been messed up, and I'm going to show you why. Everything was great. And then I ended up getting a new phone. There's my puppies. They were about 9 or 10 weeks old, Coco and Chanel were, when I got them. So I was planning on getting a new phone in next year, 2020. I had the iPhone 6 Plus, and I loved that phone. But over the course of time, as you know that iPhones do if you have one, the battery life, it just doesn't hold a charge. So it had been not holding a charge for a long time, but I'm like, everywhere I can go, I make sure it's charged before I get there, or if I'm somewhere, I'll just leave it plugged in if I can do that. It was fine, not bothering me that much, because like, I'll just get one next year. Well, then over the past week or two, I'm gonna say week, it started doing something really crazy. I turned it off and on, tried different things, but basically the picture like this started shaking up and down. And then this is the 10 XS Max, even though I just said 1010, didn't I? So the 10S Max is what this is. Whenever I touched the home button on the 6, the screen would just shake up and down, and then I would hit the home button, hit it, and I might have to hit it 5 to 10 times to get it to open up. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And then I just decided to bite the bullet and go ahead and get a new phone. So I will be paying for this one monthly, and so I'm now going to have to build this in the monthly budget. However, I ended up having to pay like $150 for the tax, and it's got a glass screen protector on the top, and so I had to pay for that, obviously. And then I don't have a case on it because I didn't have anything in the store I liked, so I ordered a case for it, so that's coming in. So I ended up spending a little bit of money that I didn't build in the budget. However, I've got money to cover it in my bank account. But I say all that to tell you that I am trying to change things in my life, especially with the budget, and then do better and be more prepared when things come up, because several things have come up just in the past couple months. So new tires, new brakes, new phone, 2 vet visits, and I will tell you that it has been stressing me out quite a bit, and I have not been feeling my best. Thankfully, I do know when I feel the way I'm feeling now, I know it's caused by stress and not something else that's wrong with me. That doesn't mean that it's good for me, because stress is not good, but it's better that I know what it is and what's causing it. So in the past when this happened, I got sicker and sicker and sicker, didn't know what was wrong, ended up going to the emergency room. Spent a lot of money on medical bills. Not too, I mean, compared to what some people spend, it's not that much. It wasn't that much, but I did end up spending money on different medical bills, and all I was stressed and had a lot of anxiety. So I know that I have been getting stressed over this stuff, and I am trying to get better with it. So I'm hoping things calm down, and I am remaining having a positive outlook on everything. They're barking at the neighbors. So now I've got safe tires. Brakes on my car, which is good, so there's all of that. And oh, another thing I did, I opened up 2 separate savings accounts. One of them, I've been a little bit nervous because it's an online bank. It's Capital One 360, where I think you can open up to like 25 savings accounts. And then I opened up another one at my credit union, but I've been kind of nervous to drop money into that Capital One. So I need to go ahead and do that. And I was talking to Nicole months ago. If you watches Nicole, you'll remember that we were texting about it, about multiple bank accounts for multiple things. Let me go ahead and pick Coco up. She just came over so you guys can see her too. And she's doing really good now. But so my one savings account that I had for years and years and years, that's just where I dumped all of my excess money into that I had. And if I needed money, I was just pulling it out of that. So what I'm going to attempt to do with that account right now is to make it an emergency fund. And then I opened up a second one at my credit union, and I'm calling that car and travel. So it's to put money in to replace my car, and then also for my trip. I feel like I really need to separate those two out. And then for those Capital One accounts, I haven't really decided what to do about that, but instead of maybe getting all cash money like that, because I like to, if I can, earn interest, a little bit of interest. So I would rather just stick the money in a bank account and let it sit there instead of trying to you know, save these envelopes. But I thought I would do this for now. But there's other things, you know, you can do with those bank accounts. So maybe if you want to do a furniture fund, and that's probably what I should have done, was just start putting money in that to replace other things. So, you know, there's different things like that. So I might end up, you know, getting more than those two extra accounts. We'll see for now. I would honestly rather have it at my credit union. Just, I feel more comfortable with that. But it was a hassle to set up the second savings account. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I may just go to Capital One. That one was super easy to set up. But I've just been like, how do I get my money out of it? And what you do is just link your bank account. That's how you get the money into it. Then you would just transfer it back out. The one thing, especially if you live in the United States, I don't know about any other places, but moving money around in accounts, because I found this out myself because it happened to me. When I was selling a lot of eBay items, I was moving money to my savings account almost every time. I didn't realize you can only do 6 transfers a month, and that's a federal government rule. You can do 6 transfers electronically or online, so to speak, like with your app or on your computer. But if you need to actually, you could call them or physically go to your bank and they can move money, and that's legal. But if you do it yourself electronically, you get 6 transfers a month, and that's back and forth between savings and checking. So that's one thing I'm gonna have to figure out. If you have multiple accounts open and multiple things getting moved into different accounts, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. So I say all that to let you know what's been going on in my life. What else did I want to share with you? I feel like there was something else, but this has been a really long video, so I think that's enough. Chanel's over there chewing on her bone, and you guys already got to see her, so let me just show you more of Coco, and then I'm going to sign off. She is still a little chunky. I used to show them when they were really little and show you how long they are. I haven't done that in a while because they don't like being held up like this. So here is Coco. I don't know if you guys can tell how, she's not super obese for a dachshund, and she's still within normal weight limits. Oh, Chanel's like, oh, you're paying attention to Coco. I want to come over. Let me pick her up. But Coco is a little chunky, so let me just show you Chanel right quick. She is thin for a dachshund, and let me grab Coco so you can just, if I could hold them up at the same time, I would, but Coco doesn't have much of a waistline like Chanel does. She still has a little bit of one. So we're just working on that. I am working on trying to remain calm and de-stressing my life a little bit more. So just other things that I'm working on, and I want to work on getting healthier. But anyway, I just don't know where YouTube is going right now for me. I do not want to stop it. I love doing this, but it has just been, you know, just haven't had as much time to devote to it, and any extra time that I have had, I mean, I'll be honest, I think this is probably part of it. I didn't want to just sit down and talk to a camera and then edit a video. It's not because I don't love it, it's just because I'm tired from other things, and I just would rather read a book or honestly just go watch some TV. Or I don't watch that much TV. It makes it sound like I'm watching a lot. I'm not watching a lot of TV at all. Just a handful of hours a week. And you know, I know some people watch multiple hours every day, and I don't choose to do that. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to necessarily anyway. So, you know, anytime that I watch TV, maybe a couple hours on a Friday evening, 1 to 2 hours Friday evening, maybe 3 hours on Saturday, maybe an hour on Sunday, and maybe 2 hours on Monday, and then the rest of the week I do not watch TV in my home. So just because I'm busy doing other things and working and stuff like that. But anyway, I need to go ahead and end this video. That's been a lot of information and a long video. I hope you guys, I kind of hope you missed me a little bit. I missed you, and again, please forgive me for the lack of videos. I'm not certain what I'm going to be doing. I had a lot of ideas earlier in the year. It's just, you know, it is what it is. That's all I got to say. So I don't know when the next video will go up. It may be the next Monday, and it may not be. Oh, I also wanted to say this. It is the 4th of July this week on Thursday, so happy 4th of July. It's one of my favorite holidays, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, just wanted to say that, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. May do another chat video next week. Who knows? We'll see what happens, but I will talk to you guys later. I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful week. Bye-bye, everybody.